winning the cross that my mother gave me was hers, and then I I forgot what happened, but I ended up losing the fucking cross, because my mother had bought the cross, so I ended up losing the cross, and I just ended up buying the unk. Shit, exactly what it means. It's the divine, the man and the woman. It's the womb and the man. You know what I'm saying? It's about balance. That's just what it means to me personally. Just balance. It got the womb, and then it got the shaft. It's feminine and masculine energy. Where the cross is more just masculine energy.
No, I was asking. I mean, you ended up answering the question I was really asking, which was like, not what does it mean to you, but why is it important to you? But you kind of related it to the story, so I was like, okay, you know what I'm saying. But that's what's up. That's what's up. Flaw, what's good, bro?
Yeah, what's up? What's poppin'? What
Not too much.
What did we settle on for the board for today? For the
I
topic?
didn't get anything. So I know me personally, I wanted to talk about what, if any, celebrity deaths like affected y'all more than just like the average celebrity. Like damn near like you felt like you knew them and lost them, and it like hurt a little bit more type shit. You know what I mean?
I guess my question would be, what is this in relation to?
Well, for me personally, it's in relation to a wrestler who passed away last week. Two technically. One, a legendary wrestler, Terry Funk, passed away, and then the next day, a dude my age or our age passed away from a heart attack.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, Bray Wyatt. So that's what that's in reference to, because it was like he was one of my favorite characters. You know what I'm saying? He was like really unique. He was like a modern day Undertaker type, which is hard to pull off in modern day wrestling because everybody knows what it is now. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's a little harder to pull off like certain type of characters because everything is more kind of based in realism. So
Right.
he was able to do unique stuff, and he just brought a different dimension that as far as the creative side of like the storytelling aspect of wrestling or whatever. And he was like really good at it, but he had been sick for a few months. Now they say that he got COVID and it aggravated a heart issue. So yeah, that's what they're saying. So, and then they said that, he was getting close to recovery and all of that kind of stuff. They was talking about adding him into the creative plans and everything. And then out of nowhere has a heart attack, dies. So that's what's spurring, that line of thought. And then I figured we could just expand it out because to my knowledge, neither of y'all are really wrestling fans like that. So I don't expect us to have a wrestling conversation, but I figure celebrity death is something that we could all.
I don't watch modern wrestling because I just be busy, but it's probably not a bigger wrestling fan. I don't know, 2000s on back than me. I was a huge wrestling fan growing up. I went to every time they came to Detroit. I went.
Okay.
I mean, that's one thing. I mean, it's just really we gotta
Grew out of it a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess we'll.
But with that being said, if I met Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan right now, I'd probably be a little emotional. Like I was that into it.
Do you know about Hulk Hogan?
What you mean, like Terry Boyd, the real him?
Yes.
I've heard. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's what I was like. So you would still feel that way?
Yeah, I don't really cross up. I don't know Terry Boyd. That's not who I.
Yeah.
I want to meet the character. I don't want to meet.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I respect that. That's how I feel about him. I feel like that about Kane. I'm like, you be saying too much crazy shit on Twitter, but I like Kane, the wrestler. So I'm gonna just.
Oh, what you mean? Because he a Republican mayor or something?
It's not just because he's a Republican. You just say shit I disagree with. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's specific like policy disagreements, and I'm like, oh, I can't fuck with you on that at all. So, nah,
Yeah, I never got into the policies of Kane. Like I ain't taking
that's the
him
problem
serious.
with Twitter, though. That's the problem with Twitter is now everybody is constantly, like the mystique of being a wrestler is gone too, or just being a celebrity in general. I feel like because of social media, so it's like you get to know the real them, and they always tell you don't meet your heroes. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I think that's kind of where that comes from because when you get to, you have a perception of them and an idea of them, but when you get to know the real them, a lot of times that shit is disappointing. And it's like, damn.
Wow, no, I mean, how I have to go look at his Twitter to see how right wing he go. Actually, I don't really care. To be completely honest, bro, like the older I get, I'm so detached from politics. I don't really care about the right wing agenda versus the left wing agenda. Like,
Well,
I don't really give a shit, bro.
Because it's conflated. I feel like when you talk about government and politicians and people running against each other, like left and right don't really mean nothing anymore. It's like that's a small margin of change. Like when you're talking about that level, because they agree on all the important shit. When it comes to war, when it comes to the economy, all that type shit, they agree on everything. That's why all that shit gets passed with no hesitation every time. The differences be like, yo, are we gonna shit on minorities in public, or are we gonna just say how we feel? Like that's really the only difference now.
Well, that's the point I'm making. I'm being honest. Like, I can't think of one president in my years of living that did anything for minorities.
There
So
haven't
I don't know. I can't think of one.
excuse me. There haven't been. That's why you can't think of none, because there haven't been.
That's what I'm saying. So whether they're Democratic or Republican, it's gonna always be the same shit, man. Like
That's what I'm saying. That's what I mean when I say left and right. When you talk about elected officials, that shit don't mean nothing. Left and right only matters among the voters and amongst like the general populace, because we're the ones that got to deal with each other every day. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't give a fuck what we got going on down here on this level.
exactly, man. Exactly.
Yeah.
This Paris Jackson situation.
If I was to had to vote tomorrow, I would vote for Trump.
Nah, couldn't do
it. I'd never vote for Biden.
No,
I dislike Biden way more than Trump.
I'm not voting for either of them motherfuckers. I'm voting for probably this go around. I'm voting Cornel West if he sticks in the race.
Man, he never stick in the race though.
I mean, he's running as a green this time. He's actually been like doing the campaign shit this time. I'm like, all right, you running. It looked like you actually running an official campaign. Now you're not.
Sometimes I be feeling like, I'm gonna be honest. My political thing with black people, I think, and obviously, much respect to you, but I think that's where we go wrong as black people, like voting for people that's not gonna win. What I think black people really should do is talk to the Republican nominee, talk to the Democratic nominee, and literally say whoever give us the more of what we want, that's who's gonna get the black vote. That's how I think we would really use our power, man. Like, because we would sway the whole fucking election. And the thing is,
I feel like before we can do that, we have to show them that we're willing to not vote for them, though. You get what I'm saying? Like that's
well, then we would have to but what I'm saying is,
but not enough of us do it. Like I feel like
that's the point I'm making. Like we would literally, because the truth is this. This is the real truth. This is the honest to God truth. We're really talking about one party. The Democratic Party couldn't win without the black vote.
Correct.
At all.
Correct.
Like they would lose every time. So it's really about why aren't they giving us what we need, and they literally can't win if we don't vote.
Because they don't have to, because they do a good enough job of scaring people about Republicans. All they got to do, they don't have to be good. All they got to do is say, look at how bad they are. And enough people fall for it. They're like, yeah, they fucked up. So we can't go that route. So I guess we'll keep voting. So they don't have to. That's the problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I say we have to show them that we're willing to not vote for them. Then when they see that, they're like, oh shit, none of them niggas voted for us. Like, we do need them. Then we can make a demand. Like, okay, if you want to vote, or we can make several demands at that point. Because it's like, you're not going to win without us. I feel like they have to have consequences, though. That's the problem. It's because they've gone too long without having no real consequences. What's the Paris Jackson situation, Flaw? What was you talking about?
I guess she didn't say something to her dad on for her birthday.
That's ridiculous.
And she's getting death threats, though, I guess.
Like, that's the dumbest shit in the world. She don't have to share her private moments with y'all.
So
like that's sick, man.
Yeah, and just being there. I mean, and we can just dive into conversation and just all the rabbit holes of that, from where's the line of celebrity, where's the line of celebrity family, where's the line.
I'm ready, Shane, because I definitely gotta take this call a little later.
All right, for sure. Well, Flaw, you in the middle, sir?
Oh, I guess I'm starting this off today. Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to today's episode of OTI here on Ethos Media Network. I am Lack of Flaws. I'll be hosting today. We got the homie Twan with me. We got the homie Shane here as well. How's everybody doing? Everybody good? How's everybody's week? Anybody do anything crazy?
Not nothing crazy, man. Just enjoyed some wrestling shows this week. It's a big wrestling month, actually. A whole lot's going on. They did the biggest show that's ever happened ever at Wembley Stadium on Sunday. So me and Eric watched that. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Eric G from Bar Exam. Catch him on Mondays. This Saturday, WWE's throwing a show called Payback, and then Sunday it's a show in Chicago. So just, my favorite pastime. Yeah, my favorite pastime. I'm stuck on the couch.
Yeah, so you'll be on the couch. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right, Twan. Anything happen over there?
Man, nothing really on my end, man. Just nothing really, man. Just back to school, back to my programming with my daughter, back to my cycle of, being locked in on that, and football season. My favorite season in the world, my favorite sport, my pastime. So, it's Shane preparing for his shit. I'm preparing for mine. And that's that.
Well, who are you excited about?
I really only root for the two teams. I mean, I watch the sport in general because I'm just a huge fan, but I root for Michigan State, go green, and I root for the Lions. And I'm excited for both.
I mean, they got a good squad this year. I mean, shout out to the home team. I'm hearing now that the new GM is doing good things over there, from what I'm understanding. Like the new system over there is doing well.
Yeah, we should see. It's a lot of optimism, man. They got to go out there and win some games. Hopefully, break the playoff drought, and that'll be a successful season in my eyes. They'll be headed in the right direction.
For sure. All right. Where we starting at? Where we picking things up?
Well, I mean, shit, I was talking about the wrestling thing. So, I'll go ahead and start it off, pay my respects to, two gentlemen who unfortunately passed away last week. Rest in peace to Terry Funk. He was 79. So, he lived a long life, especially, if you were familiar with any of his matches and the crazy shit that nigga was doing, then you know he was the king of hardcore for a reason. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Terry Funk. Shout out to all the Funks who are still with us. You know what I mean? Condolences for the loss, and then definitely very very sad. Wyndham Rotunda, also known as Bray Wyatt, passed away last week. The report came out that he had heart complications from COVID. It exacerbated a heart condition that he already had, and he unfortunately had a heart attack last week and passed away. So, yeah, rest in peace,
Rest
man.
in peace to both them gentlemen.
Definitely. So Twan, you were saying that you just grew up watching wrestling. You know what I mean? You remember Terry Funk, Attitude,
Yeah,
Cactus Jack, running
yeah,
up.
for sure.
Yeah, for sure, man. So, but the Bray Wyatt thing, man, that one hit me because, like I said, it's different when it's somebody that's your age and you're still relatively young. Like he's 36, dying of a heart attack. So, like, it hits a little harder.
Yeah, that's that wake up call for yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, we looking forward to him coming back, and now that's not gonna happen. So, I guess like any celebrities that y'all ever felt like that with, like you was like not just sad that somebody that you liked or whatever passed, but like you almost felt it, like you knew him or something like that.
Oh man, I don't know because I was much younger. The only celebrity I remember having a really bad feeling about was Tupac, but I was super young, so it's like super young. But I just remember, yeah, I just remember feeling terrible. Like, damn, man, because I remember him getting shot before and making it, and like I'm just like when they said he died, I was like, damn, he died. That one fucked me up. You know what I mean? Obviously, I felt bad as a youngster when Big died, but the Tupac shit really fucked me up because that was like my favorite rapper at the time and probably still my favorite rapper. Like that one fucked me up pretty bad.
I felt like that when Nate Dogg died too. That was the only other one. When he died, like I felt like my friend died. Like that one hurt.
I felt, I guess, giving it some thought, I probably would say, this might sound even crazy. I think I would say Proof, because I was in the city. I was in the city the night that happened. So, I would probably say Proof passing. Like
he died on my mom's birthday.
Yeah. Like hearing the news of that and being in the city, in the D, experiencing all of that emotion from everybody and everybody was going through. Plus, obviously my connections to the fam and the friends network over there. So it was a crazy thing to experience. Thinking that, hoping, not even thinking. No, I guess I probably is thinking that a person's on the other side of losing their life in that way. In any way, because it doesn't really matter for the context of this conversation. However a person passes away, it still would be jarring for the purposes of the celebrity that you felt like had an impact. Obviously, I was younger than even Twan when the Pac thing happened, but it was there was this thing about, but not. I don't want to say it was. People thought Pac was invincible, but I mean the way the media, yeah, bring Twan. The way the media, kind of like brought it all up or whatever, I would definitely say that it had this energy of like Pac was gonna be okay, because it was like what 6 days from the time he got shot to when he actually passed away. Real Machiavellian of him, by the way, to die on the 6th or 7th day. If he made it 7 days, that's wow. I don't know the exact time of that, but I do think that that had that sent ripples, and then Biggie passing was another thing that was real. Like I remember seeing the clips from Biggie's ride through Brooklyn, through Bed-Stuy, legendary ride, like legendary funeral progression. Like even the way that people speak on being there that day in Bed-Stuy, like people were like, it was people were crying and stuff. And then they say some random DJ kicked, or somebody, I don't want to discredit it to a random DJ trying to look at me trying to give love to the DJs, even though they may not have did shit in that situation. But somebody kicked on I don't remember, I don't know exactly what record it was, but it was a Biggie joint, and it turned into a block party for like miles. So it's like those were things that I can like distinctly. I mean, obviously, baby girl, rest in peace, Aaliyah. I remember Aaliyah passing away clearly as well. Um, I don't
It
think
was
you're necessarily.
hypnotized.
Thank
It
you.
was hypnotized.
Yeah, so it's like I don't. With Aaliyah, it was different too. Left Eye was different too. Like, so I mean, we've lost some people in the culture. That some you didn't see coming at all, and some you did. But I mean, that's kind of how I felt about that. Anybody else? Anybody else have something on the deaths? I mean, I know it's a sad thing to touch on for us to start the show, but we definitely had to get the RIPS in there.
No, that was the only sad thing I got. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like I said, just want to pay the respects to somebody who's entertained me for some years, and you know, fireflies burn forever. So there it is.
Yeah, man. RIP to everybody that we love, whether you're a celebrity or not. Just RIP to everybody out there that's lost somebody. We're gonna take a break right now, and everybody out there, if you have not, hit the like, subscribe button down below. Join the movement. We're doing great things here at Ethos. Episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Sunday. Definitely tap in for that from all of our different shows, from Politics as Usual with the homie Shane, as well as OTI with my co-host and myself, and Bar Exam coming to you live as well. So definitely do that. But I guess we'll slide to some other news, I guess, that's happening that we need to touch on, get some interpretation, some perspective. I guess Michael Jackson's daughter, Paris. I guess it was Michael's birthday the other day, or today, or the other day. I'm not even sure which day it was exactly.
The other day.
Either way, I guess Paris is getting death threats. Like, people are threatening her life because she didn't post on social. She didn't post a happy birthday post to her pops on IG on his birthday, and now she is reportedly, according to her, from what I've seen, she's now receiving death threats. The floor is open. Like, how do we feel about this?
That's very atypical of 2023. That's like ridiculous, man. Like that woman is allowed to grieve and remember her father however she wants, and she doesn't have to put on a dog and pony show for the internet. Like, that is some real, actual personal shit. Like, her father died, and yes, her father was Michael Jackson, but that still doesn't give people the right to tell her how to respect him, how to remember him, how to grieve him. That's just sick, man. That's just the one thing I dislike about social media is like the lack of like privacy, and people want you to do shit the way they would do it. And it's like everybody doesn't grieve the same. Everybody's not the same. We're all different humans. Like, respect her day and let her have her day to remember her father. Like, it's just that simple to me. It's her father's birthday, not yours, not my father, nobody's. My father's birthday was August the 25th. I didn't make a single social media post because I was too busy just thinking of the memories and, the lessons he taught me. And everybody's brain doesn't go there.
No, I mean, so like, because I agree with you 100%. So it's just like, what, I don't know what's wrong with people, but like, what has to go through your mind to believe that you have that type of right?
Entitlement, man, because people giving people too much access to their life, and they start feeling entitled. They start feeling like they know you. They start feeling like, well,
But I guess this is what's scary, because what you're saying to me is entitlement. But it's like I wouldn't say Paris put her life out there like that. Like I only know of Paris
you
because of
right.
this. I only
It's
know of Paris because of this incident and the fact that she's Michael Jackson's daughter. So
that's the problem right there. People,
Michael Jackson also didn't put himself out here on the internet. Actually, he probably was even somewhat. I mean, on the social media side of it, like Mike been gone for a minute.
yeah, for sure. I just think people are taking their fandom and their fanaticalness to extreme crazy levels, because it's like you're that big of a fan of Michael Jackson that you're trying to death threat his daughter for basically you thinking she's not paying respect. Like that's none of your fucking business. Like she can do whatever she wants. It's her father.
Well,
Like,
think about this also is like, think about how crazy people talk to each other on the internet, knowing that they'll never see each other. Just like strangers, like not even celebrities necessarily, just strangers on the internet will talk crazy to each other. So now you add that with the fact that celebrities have social media, so we have constant access to them, which we used to not have. There was like more of a you only saw them when they wanted to be seen kind of thing, unless you lived near one. You know what I mean? Like outside of that, you know, but now they're going live all the time. They got Instagram, they got Twitter. We're constantly somewhat in contact with celebrities. So it's like you add the crazy culture of the internet plus celebrity culture, and you get this. You get people who didn't even necessarily ask to be celebrities, but who just happen to be celebrities because they're famous, like because of whoever their parents are, whatever the case is. And, you know, this is what you end up getting.
No, man, this is wild. Like I don't want to minimize this. Like this isn't like this is crazy.
I don't think I'm minimizing it. I just think that's the diagnosis. I think that's the reason why that exists.
No, I get what you're saying, but still, like this is crazy. Like at the end of the day, she's not a public figure. Like that's where I guess I'm trying to get a gauge of where we are as a society. Because it's kind of like she's not a celebrity.
yeah, not at all.
Like she's not out here pretending to be something that she is or she's not. Just go ahead and stay up for a while because you're going back and forth. If she's not
famous
a
though,
celebrity,
that's my argument is that she's famous.
But I don't. But I wouldn't. Well, let me slow down and ask a question then.
Mm-hmm.
What do you believe makes a person famous?
I don't think she's famous.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So like, hold on.
A lot of people know who you are.
That makes you known. I don't think that makes you famous.
Known and famous to me are like, I'm not saying that she's famous in the sense that she's a celebrity. A celebrity to me is somebody who is famous, who should be celebrated based on something that they do, whether it be an art or a sport or whatever. That's a celebrity. Like we celebrate you based on your fame in this category. Mm-hmm. I think she's famous, meaning a lot of people know who she is. That's all. I'm not saying she asked for it. I'm not saying she's doing
this. Is the point I'm making.
Great at. I'm not saying none of that. I'm just saying based purely on the fact that
I'm gonna disagree.
She's famous.
I'm gonna disagree with my brother Shane for this reason.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you, if you went and polled 100 people and showed them a lineup of people and said, point out Paris Jackson, 90 of them couldn't do it.
No,
she's not famous. Her name is famous. Okay. She's not famous. I guarantee you 90 people can't point out Paris Jackson.
Is she on Instagram?
I don't know. I really don't know.
If she's on Instagram, I'd like to know how many followers she has, because that would indicate in today's era fame.
Then what's the barometer?
And if you're hiding from fame, then why would you even have that? Like, why wouldn't you?
No, I'm just saying, what's the barometer though?
What's the number? Yeah, because you just said
that's a good question. That's a good question.
That's the question. So give me a number. You brought up a number.
Paris Jackson has 4.2 million followers on Instagram.
Famous. Or yeah.
That's famous. That's
I see this. See, me and Flaw talk about this all the time, bro. Like, I literally had a talk. I sent Flaw. I just think in this world of digital and numbers, that shit don't mean nothing, man. 3 million of them could be bots. 400, like
Well, I
I
mean, what I believe, I still don't believe that she's. If anything, she's only being followed for still, once again, being Michael Jackson's daughter. She's
correct.
not necessarily being followed because Paris
She
is
did
following in his
anything.
footsteps, or
Right.
this is the point I'm asking Shane.
so that's how big of a star Michael Jackson was.
He,
For the record, let's just stop
he
it for a second right now. Let's just stop for a second and say that Michael Jackson ran you up like 4 and some change on the like. Just want to point that out, bro. Let's not sleep on that shit now. Like,
Yeah.
how
the
many
thing
did
that I'm
somebody look
still
up? Hold on,
asking Shane.
wait. Somebody look up how many Tito got. Like, see if somebody find out
I'ma
if
check.
Tito or Jermaine and them got numbers. I'm just curious.
I'ma check.
We need to check the family tree. I'm just curious to see how different it is, because these niggas, they got promo runs. These niggas been all over the world. Like, these
Tito
are known
Jackson.
niggas.
Tito Jackson has 164,000 followers.
Exactly.
Paris Jackson has 4.2 million.
That's the point I'm making. And Tito Jackson is more famous than Paris Jackson. People are just literally following her.
I would say it depends on what age group then at that point. Because the
This is the
younger
point I'm making.
on Instagram.
What do you say to that?
Indicator.
I'm still asking my question, man.
Mhm.
Fuck 4.2 million.
Mhm.
If you interviewed 100 random people, how many of them would know who Paris Jackson is if you told them to point her out?
I don't think they'd be able to point her out. I think they'd be able
Tito
to say they're Michael Jackson's daughter, or she's Michael Jackson's daughter. I bet you.
That's the see to me
90,
that's not
100
to me
would
that's
say-
not famous. That's like a blurb in Michael Jackson's Wikipedia. Paris Jackson, Michael Jackson's daughter.
My argument
Like-
is that she is famous by proxy of Michael Jackson being so famous. That's my argument entirely. Like,
I guess I totally agree with Flaw.
I mean, well, wait, but I mean, Blue.
That's being known to me. That's not being famous.
What? Wait. I got a good one.
all right.
This is getting good. Is Paris Jackson? And we're gonna look at two sides of the scale. So on the left side, we're gonna say known, which is what I was proposing. On the right side is famous. And we use Paris as a barometer, and her numbers made us want to put her on the famous side. Purely
No,
based
that
on her
made
numbers.
Shane want to do that.
Now wait. So here's the thing. The thing is, though, what if I put Blue Ivy on the scale, who doesn't have an IG page?
Mhm.
But if Blue Ivy walked in most buildings,
They would know who she is.
Yes.
now I think
That's
Blue Ivy is famous.
That's famous.
So that's where I have to find this. How many please check. How many followers does Assad have? Khaled's little boy.
Okay.
Because I know Assad was running him up. So I don't know why he's checking. We can keep going, but I only asked that question. I put Blue on the scale as a fair representation. Like,
well, I think that, in my opinion, that made the whole argument to me. Blue Ivy is famous. People face recognition. They know who she is. Like, if she walk in a room, they're gonna be like, "Oh, you look like Blue Ivy." Paris Jackson could be sitting in the plane next to you, and you're gonna be like, "Oh, hey, what's your name?"
Assad has 1.5 mil.
And he's like 5.
Yeah.
Shout out to Assad.
Yeah, I mean, I just think, I guess, yeah, like my thing is, I agree with what y'all are saying. Like, it's, I guess, based on a definitional thing to me. Like, to me, I just coincide fame with how many people know who you are. And there's different ways of measuring that. How many people follow you on a particular social media is one way of measuring that. If you're a musician, how many streams you get is a way of measuring that. There's just different ways of measuring it. How many people recognize your face when you go somewhere? That matters too. Because, like, would you say that, like, Mason, for example, from Detroit, would you say that, like, on the scale of Michigan, not necessarily nationally, but on the scale of Michigan, would you say that he's famous, even though most people only know him by his voice?
No, I would say he's known.
That's exactly. He's a well known.
Really?
That's where that well known thing comes from.
Okay.
That's where like that's literally where like, oh man, my man is well known. Like that's where that kind of thing comes from. Because so many people only experience Mason from an audio perspective. Mason could still come sit down next to you at a restaurant.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't.
That's my point. Like if you
that's what we're talking
okay,
about.
This is the point I'm making, right? No, this is the point I'm making. They literally do it all the time with athletes. Like some athletes are well known, and then other athletes are famous. Like people in Detroit probably know who Lindsey Hunter is. They heard the name, but Grant Hill was famous. Like, oh, that's Grant Hill. Motherfucking Lindsey Hunter used to hoop in St. Cecilia, and people will be like, "Oh, is that Lindsey Hunter?" Like, it's different, bro. Like being well known and being to me, being famous. When you walk in the room, somebody gonna point like, "Oh, or it's gonna be a whisper. Oh, that's Shane, man. You know Shane from da 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 da." Like, it's a lot of well-known people that just live in a certain medium. Like to me, fame, you damn near break outside of your medium. Like some people just feel like, oh, that's such and such. Like I told the story the other day of my 6-year-old walking past a cereal box, like, that's LeBron James. And I'm like, how do you know who LeBron James is? Like, that's famous. Like, that's LeBron James. I don't even conceptualize who LeBron James is, but I know that's LeBron James.
Well, obviously, he's the second greatest basketball player of all time. So, as I was saying, I
tell you this. I tell you this. This was funny though, Shane, because the cereal box didn't have a picture of LeBron. It just had a number 23. And you know what my 6-year-old didn't say? That's Michael Jordan. She said, that's LeBron James. Like, so it's all generational. That's the point I be trying to tell people, man. It's all generational, man.
I think that's my point too, though, is 4.2 million people on Instagram. Yes, maybe you or I wouldn't recognize her if she's walking down the street. But those numbers look like somebody would, though. You know,
man, you gotta realize that people.
I don't think she can go to the mall and just be chilling. Somebody's gonna.
I know she can go to the mall.
I think you're wrong. I think she's living a very pedestrian life.
I don't think so.
And let me rephrase.
I'm not buying that those are bots.
And I gotta clean that up. I gotta clean that up first of all.
Mm-hmm.
When I said pedestrian, wrong.
Normal.
Yeah, she's able to move around like a normal person. Having that amount of followers just means that there's
okay. I got a perfect example.
Like people recognize her face. That many, you know.
I got a perfect example, right?
Mm-hmm.
Terry Lewis and Jimmy Jam are well known.
And if they're not in uniform, you won't recognize them.
Robert Kelly.
If they don't have their suits on, you won't recognize
them. R. Kelly is famous.
Okay.
Like, it's a difference. Like, people are like, oh, I heard of Terry Lewis and Jimmy Jam. I heard of them. Like, perfect example. The Neptunes. People probably heard.
Next to you. Chad can sit next to you.
Exactly.
So does superstardom equal fame then? Because, like, think about the examples that you gave. These are
I'm gonna be honest. I think
like you're talking about Pharrell. You're talking about, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I think fame.
No. I think you're missing the parallel.
I think famous
who are in the same group, but Chad can come sit next to you.
But Pharrell
Like,
also has made himself a superstar through his R&B career, through his rapping, through
none of that shit matters. Like,
Yeah,
what you do, it doesn't. Like,
putting
at the
yourself
end of the
out
day,
there does matter.
we're talking about at the end of the day who you are. Like, it doesn't matter whether you wanted to or you tried to hide. It doesn't matter whether you went away for 12 years like Dave Chappelle. It don't matter. None of that shit matters. At the end of the day, it boils down to who are you. If you are you, are you a person who is known? Are you a person who's famous? And are you a
I'm gonna be
person that is a household name? So there's layers to all of those things.
famous.
And
Famous to me is more about face recognition. Like, do people recognize you? Like, when you go outside, do people recognize you? Like, that's
like
famous to me.
like Paula Dean from the Cooking Network is famous.
Right.
Like Anderson Cooper from CNN is famous.
But the common denominator is that they all also do something very public with their role. And what I'm saying
Okay,
is,
fine. I'll go about it differently. Ruby Rose is famous.
Yeah,
She's famous. She doesn't
yeah.
have a particular crazy thing that she's not known for a
Let's break it
particularly
down.
crazy
Let's even
thing.
take it smaller than that. Delicious is famous because you know her when you see her.
yeah, Delicious, I would say, is a better argument to Ruby Rose.
No,
Like,
I mean, I'm saying no, but Delicious is famous for she's been on TV shows. She's
Yeah,
been
that's why I
on
said she's a better argument.
multiple. No, I'm saying Ruby Rose is a person who is more aligned to a regular person that can still move around like a famous person though. Like
yeah.
Ruby
She
Rose
moves in
is
famous circles. I would argue that based on what you guys are saying, that she would fall under the well-known category more because, like, she might be famous in black circles or in urban circles, but she can move around like a regular person if she wanted to still, and she would just be a pretty girl.
I see that. If you talk about outside of black culture, I can see
Outside
that.
of black culture, yeah. Like all the other people that y'all have know, they're not moving, they're not going Pharrell's not going nowhere, not being recognized.
yeah, but it wasn't
You know what I'm
about
saying?
Pharrell. It was about Pharrell and his relationship to Chad. You're
Right.
focusing on the Pharrell. We're building a spectrum.
And
That
because I
example
was using
purely about spectrum.
right, and I'm basing that off of the reason why that is, and I'm saying that Pharrell, I don't think was famous outside of the name the Neptunes until he started doing his solo stuff, and
But
based
no,
on
but
his
even
public putting himself out there and being the one in the videos next to everybody and all of that kind of stuff, like he
but even
purposely put out a
before
public.
then,
I don't think
even
he was the
before
only one
then,
getting the
he
credit.
was. It wasn't about
Okay,
credit. See, you're mixing, but
I
you're
gotta,
mixing two different things. I didn't even say credit. We're not talking about credit.
I got
Because
another
Chad
one
always
then,
got
right?
credit. We're talking
I got
about
another one, right?
I don't think
the
so.
one that you could.
I think the more famous Pharrell got, the more people started forgetting Chad was a part of that equation. So I definitely think those things coincide. Yeah, maybe you wouldn't because
not even me. Like, there's a clear difference between a Pharrell beat and a Neptune's beat. Like, it's very clear. They are not the same.
I agree.
Just to be clear, like they're not.
I agree.
But that has nothing to do with even when they were doing.
But when you're talking fame, you're talking the average person.
I'm talking. But bro, you act like Chad wasn't in the fucking Nerd videos. You talking like Chad wasn't in the video.
Oh, Chad was in the videos.
You're talking like Chad has not.
But was he in the Excuse Me Miss video? Was he in the you know what I'm saying? Like when Pharrell was going on, or when
he was in
when the
no, he wasn't in none of those videos. But
in the 2000s, he wasn't in none of them shits.
What I'm saying to you is, no, it was just clear who the star was. But that doesn't have it. But I'm not. But you're talking about.
You're talking to fall back. Like they always even said that.
Chad wasn't an artist, and that's okay.
But they always said that though. They always.
But that's like what comes.
He chose to play the background.
That's what comes with you weren't really an artist like that. He could be a member of a band. Most people can't name all 5 members of a band. Most people can't. A super fan can, but most people can't name like all the members of a band. So
right.
Chad functioned as a member of a band, member of a collective, a part of a thing. Pharrell is more of a front man. So it's easily when you put him on camera, whether you put him next to Chad or Jay or Snoop or any of the other niggas he did videos with, he's for real.
Why do we know?
Plays
Why is
into
Dame
that
Dash
fame
famous
thing
and
that we're
Biggs
talking
isn't?
about.
Why is Dame Dash famous and Biggs isn't?
I thought because Biggs went to jail.
Well, no, that was late. Well, one Big spent the first 10 years of that run being a silent partner.
I mean, he
Like,
was on the cover of Reasonable Doubt with Dame and Jay. So, or not the cover, but in the booklet.
but that
I
doesn't
think
have
I
any,
think
that
this
doesn't have anything to do with Dame Dash, because Dame Dash
is a big personality.
is a big personality. He's the one out front, loud. He was making a lot of, and here's the thing. He, once again, though, not an artist.
This is the same pattern.
But
I'm following.
how? But I would understand it if Dame Dash was an artist. Everybody else we named did their thing, as like their thing was their art, which propelled them to being out front. There's plenty of executives, like most niggas can't tell me who D and Y is from Rough Riders.
Right. But they can tell you who Swizz is, you know, that type of
But
shit.
you can tell me.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. You can tell me who Birdman is.
Right. Most
Point
niggas
out
ain't gonna
Slim.
know his brother.
You can point out Slim.
Slim,
So that's my point. Where it's like at some point it's a choice on both sides, but it's not like Slim been hiding, bro. There's pictures of Slim everywhere.
Like I'll give you a perfect example. This just happened in the D. And this is a current artist. A lot of people know and have heard of Chubbs. But that nigga could walk in the room right now and you be like, oh, that's Chubbs. But you know, if you be like, oh, Chubbs, oh, Drake, man, that's well known. And it could be through association, but he's still well known. But to me, like I said, when you're famous, people just recognize you. People be like, oh, that's such and such. Like, you know, and I think sports is the best kind of barometer where it might be a nigga on the team where you like, I heard that name a lot because he might be a good player. But then you might be like, oh, but that's Calvin Johnson. Like, Calvin Johnson is famous. Allen Iverson is famous. How many people know Eric Snow if he walked in the room?
It's getting complicated.
Like, but Eric Snow was on TV every game with AI.
Right next to him. That's all I was saying. I mean, y'all, I'm gonna give y'all the floor. Y'all go ahead.
I think famous, yeah, it's just more about your face recognition. And maybe that can come from an extreme talent, being the front man, whatever happens for people to recognize your face. That's just famous to me. Like, oh, that's such and such and such and such. Like, you know, like for whatever reason, you know what I'm saying? Because it's yeah, man. That's just it, man. Like,
No, so Shane, you have something else that you want to add on this, or I mean, because I feel like you were the one who had the most, I don't know, problem with what I said. So I want to make sure that you had some room to make sure that we didn't still have, unaddressed things here. Because I want to make sure we're both articulating ourselves. I don't want to cut you off or anything.
Nah.
You feel like your thoughts aren't valued or appreciated when you're not hosting. I don't want it to feel that way. So it's very important. You know, I don't want our audience to be all in the comments talking shit about how, man, Fly was cutting shit. I don't want to see that shit now that I'm hosting for a second. So yeah, do you understand where we're coming from with this?
I definitely understand where you're coming from.
And first off, shout out to Ruby with her fine ass.
Definitely.
I'm sorry, I just had to get that out the way.
Definitely super attractive young lady. Yes, absolutely.
Man, let that girl be cute. Let her live.
Let her be right. You know what I mean? Let her be her fine self somewhere on a yacht twerking.
I don't know, man. She nice looking.
Yeah,
but I would
That's all I said. That's all we said. We just giving her. I brought her up and I wanted to give her a shout out.
Give her the flowers. You know what I'm saying? While she can still smell them. You feel me?
That's all we did. We appreciate fine art over here.
Nah, but all I was saying basically is just the way I'm interpreting what y'all are saying is like, okay, I'm understanding the separation between fame and well known. I'll accept that. I guess my thing is the level or the fame part to me is equating now the way I'm hearing it from y'all to, like I said, a superstar. Because like you said, Allen Iverson played on the court every day with Eric Snow. But Allen Iverson was the superstar of the team. You know what I'm saying? Like Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. You know, Scottie Pippen's famous too, but not Michael Jordan famous. Obviously, he same thing. He was there every day with him. You know what I mean? And I think, you know, I mean, the less famous part, obviously, because, you know, some people say that whatever. But
say what?
Yeah, don't you say that dumb shit.
What you about to say?
John Sally, let me put it out there. John Sally is the guy. John Sally said that Scottie Pippen was more talented of a basketball player than Michael Jordan. So
yeah, you know who else said that?
No, I don't.
Scottie Pippen. He said he was better than Jordan. I mean, look, at the end of the day, could Scottie Pippen do more things on the basketball court than Michael Jordan? I don't know. Maybe he could. But at the end of the day, he didn't cement it. Michael Jordan cemented his talent.
We're not doing this. We're going to go back where we were. We're not doing
no, because I tell people all the time, the best player isn't always the most talented one. It's people that be more talented than some of the best people in the world.
Just because of that.
Like if you was to ask me my honest question, who was the most talented
I'm gonna start asking niggas that. If you were to ask
basketball player I ever seen play, Tracy McGrady.
I've heard that from a lot of people.
T-Mac was nasty. T-Mac was nasty. He was nasty. T-Mac.
I'm talking about everything that goes to being a basketball player. He was 6'10".
Tracy was.
He could dribble. He could shoot.
He was like 6'8", but whatever.
He was like 6'9", easy. He could dribble. He could shoot.
I will say this: Tracy was KD before KD.
How about this?
Yes.
How about this?
I felt like Tracy was KD.
Go watch the Kevin Garnett show right now.
Mm-hmm.
And they literally had the segment where he was talking to Tracy McGrady, and he like, bro, when did they stop measuring you? Because he was like, I know they list you as 6'8", but I'm watching you on the court with Carlos Boozer. He like, bro, you're at least 6'10". And Tracy McGrady was like, yeah, I'm like 6'10". Just like Kevin Garnett, just like KD is listed as 6'9", but everybody say he closer to 7 feet. So what I'm saying is from the
why do they do that?
I just think I just think the NBA don't update the rosters. It's so many things I can tell you about sports. Like, if you go to the NFL and they list a nigga as 6'5", he's going to be taller and significantly taller than an NBA player listed as 6'5", because the NBA measure you with your shoes on. The NFL makes sure you're flat-footed and super flat-footed. That's why if you look at any pictures of Calvin Johnson, who's an NFL 6'6", and it got plenty of photos of him next to Tajon Prince, who was supposed to be 6'8", they like the same height.
Yeah, true 6'6". Like,
okay. Yeah,
I got you. Okay.
So it's like that, but yeah, man, Tracy McGrady, man, he could shoot, he could dribble, he was explosive, he could play defense. He just didn't put it together for a stretch like Jordan or LeBron or KD for that matter. You know what I'm saying? He just didn't have the longevity. But I had these arguments all the time, and people don't get it.
I'm not doing this with you.
No, I got a real argument. I got a real argument though.
It's so hard to get it there.
No, Shane, I got a real argument and I'm done.
You show a real argument, my nigga.
I can't get no Jordan fan to explain to me what aspect of his game was better than Kobe Bryant's.
We're not doing this today. Like,
none. Because the answer is none.
I remember distinctively having a conversation about 5 minutes ago where I was like, "Yo, we not doing this. This is not what we doing. This
Man,
is
look,
not
hey, look,
today's
all
conversation."
Jordan fans, any Jordan fans that's out there listening, bombard the comments. What did Michael Jordan do better than Kobe? And I don't want to hear about the one more fucking championship he got, because all he got is one more. What on the court skill did he have better than Kobe Bryant?
Scoring more points per game.
One.
That's not really a skill. I said it's skill.
That is a skill, nigga. Scoring is a skill. Nigga, what are we talking
Okay,
about?
well then, guess who the most skilled ever? LeBron James. I'm glad you said that. Guess who scored more points than any player in NBA history? LeBron James.
Well,
LeBron is for you.
To be fair, I'm going off the average. I'm going. Jordan had 24.
Oh man, well, if you want to go off the then this the part that's crazy. If you want to go off the average, why you not going off of Will Chamberlain average?
Say what now?
Why you ain't going off of Will Chamberlain average?
Because we was talking Jordan versus Kobe, so that's what
I'm just saying. So is Will Chamberlain the most skilled?
See how they want to hop around when they want to argue about Mike. This
I'm like, I can take it, Will. Who you want me to go?
This is why Mike needs his own show. Like, I can't even do this properly. We can come back to that.
Michael Jordan, I'm gonna just put it to you like this.
Let's hit you with stats, brother.
And this is an objective basketball fan.
Doing today, folks.
Ahead, Kobe Bryant, Kobe Jelly Bean Bryant is more talented than Michael Jordan. That's just the truth. And that's partially because he got to watch Jordan and mimic and improve.
I would say, yeah, I would. My argument is always like, just for sports in general, the next generation is always supposed to be better than the last generation because y'all are supposed to be building off of that. Like,
yeah, that's all it's supposed to be. But then you got rare people. Like I don't know who the next generation gonna be better than LeBron. I ain't seen him yet.
Yeah, because he's
what next generation running back was better than Barry Sanders? I ain't seen him yet.
Now, well, let me ask you that. Now, just on some sports shit in general, is that because the game is a lot maybe different and they play
that
different?
Could be that.
So, or is it because nobody has the skill or the talent?
Well, I'm gonna be honest. When it pertains,
no, because we got to be fair about that shit now. The D lines that is coming off the line chasing running backs today, and the linebackers that are running niggas down are not the linebackers Barry was running away from.
This the point. This the point.
I'm not saying all of them because I know.
No, this the point I'm making though, Shane.
Folks in there, but most of the niggas were smoking cigarettes at their locker at halftime.
I actually think. Well, Barry retired in '99, but I actually think, to be completely honest,
niggas quit smoking exactly.
No, this is the point I'm about to say. Well, you're right. The athletes of the day ain't smoking. They popping perks and drinking lean and all type of weird shit. So the point that I'm saying is, I actually think the speed of linebackers would actually work against them with Barry Sanders. I watch them overrun plays right now, let alone a nigga that has the agility of Barry Sanders.
Yeah, I would worry about his well, I mean, I wouldn't really worry about Barry. Barry was
I'm gonna be honest.
Do the best ever.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna make a real honest assessment. Why I don't even like comparing generations in any sport, because you gotta advance the person from the past. So it's like you gotta say Barry Sanders will have the same training as these dudes now. You got to say, well, what the fuck would Will Chamberlain do with the way the game has evolved right now in the training the athletes have?
But I also got to say, what will Will do with the pressure of social and the bitches? I mean,
and I'm glad you said that. And that's another reason I highly doubt Michael Jordan will be Michael Jordan in 2023. He will crumble under the social media pressure. He came out his mouth on 30 for 30 and say he hold grudges, he hate being judged. All these allegations that we have about his past, Shane, would be all over social media. Think about this. I want you
He
to
also
honestly think.
would have been raised different. That's
Hold
what
on,
I'm
I want you
saying.
to think
Niggas
about
want to
this.
pull
I'm
one
talking about his
page.
character. I'm talking about his character.
Like, bro, his character would be different. He would have been raised different.
I don't know, because I know some niggas that's fucking up right now during the social media era. This is the point I'm making. And I'm taking something that was out of his hands. Think about this. When Michael Jordan daddy died, that shit might have been on the news for 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how big of a story that would be? His dad. Think about this. The best player in the world at the time, dad was murdered.
Mm-hmm.
And then they tried to pin it on some gambling shit from him. Do you know what type of story that would be?
Yeah, it was huge. But it was huge.
But
do you know how huge it would
knowing
be?
how it works, but it would be huge in the sense of more people would probably be aware of it. But the cycle with the news is
no. I'm gonna tell you the difference. I'm gonna tell you the difference
in less time. You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm gonna tell you the difference.
I almost said some out of pocket shit. You almost got me. You almost got me. He almost got me.
Nope, Shane. I'm about to tell you the difference right now. Shane, I'm about to tell you the difference right now. When Michael Jordan's father passed, and God rest his soul, back in that day, in that era, people had to believe what they want to believe. You didn't have TMZ paying people for real police reports, getting real footage, just uncovering the lie. You didn't have TMZ uncovering the scandal.
Right.
It was easier to cover up a scandal. So if it was any truth to any of that salaciousness, TMZ is on top of. It's completely different. An athlete can't do shit.
And everybody would have played it different. Of course. That's what I'm saying. Everything is different across the board.
Yeah, my argument is not that all of that is not true. My argument is
from the money that he makes day one coming in to everything is different. Everything is different. The entire situation.
Yeah, because I'm talking about like just how the modern day news cycle works, more or less.
I'm talking across the board, like
nah, Shane, you gotta think.
The modern day news cycle, bro. People get over shit very quickly. It's like on to the next story.
Shane, they get over shit very quickly for normal people, not superstars. Nigga,
wait a minute. Well, I mean, bro, they said they
no, fuck that. I gotta talk actual truth. LeBron James wasn't even in the playoffs, and that nigga was still in the news.
Because his
name makes them money. Or in the regular news.
He makes them money. And that's the sports news that was talking about that nigga every day.
That's the point I'm making.
But that's because he makes them money.
You're making my point.
No, you're saying that you believe that ESPN would have kept it in the news longer. The problem is this. ESPN and Fox and all the other spots that run sports, they still would want to be able to get a Michael Jordan interview. So yeah, you can get on LeBron James.
No, you meant Shane. Y'all not.
Hold on, no, we let you go, and I didn't even want to make this a Michael Jordan show. All I'm saying is, if LeBron doesn't make the playoffs, that's a completely different thing than you running a story about a person's father. They're completely different things. One is inbounds.
Does
be considered out of bounds?
Does TMZ care whether it's inbounds or out of bounds?
We didn't. Why are you switching platforms?
This nigga, that is the new way we.
But my nigga, pick one. I'm addressing one issue at a time. No. Which issue do you want me to address? You said ESPN would run it multiple times.
No, I said it would be in the media. You realize the internet is the media now. Niggas cut up clips. It's 100,000 podcasts. The shit will be on the Mason Cameron show. The shit will be on Wally and Gilly. The shit will be everywhere.
And it would be over, which goes to what Shane just said. It would be a cycle.
Oh my God, bro. Okay.
How many episodes is Cam and Mace talking about this? That's how many times do they need a new thing to happen in the case in order?
Okay, then tell me why the Skip Bayless constantly talk about LeBron James.
That's a motherfucking sports show.
One of the highest rated things. Do you realize how many viewers watch it? Do you niggas realize how many viewers watch his show?
What?
Yeah,
Let me ask you
exactly.
this.
There's nothing
Let
you
me
can
ask you
say.
this, Juan. Let me ask you this. Do you think
We're going
non-sports?
back and
No,
I
let
just
me
want
ask
them to
you.
get
Look,
on.
I got a
I
good
want to get
question.
on this. No, wait, stop.
No,
Let's
this is going to
the
get
same
us on
page.
the same page. This will.
Okay.
This question will. Do you think non-sports fans watch the Skip Bayless show?
Do they watch it?
Yes.
Probably. Well, you know what? I'm gonna be honest. I don't know how many, but I definitely know. Like my auntie isn't a sports fan, but she liked watching it because she liked watching Shannon and Skip argue.
Okay.
She didn't know what they was arguing over.
So it has nothing to do with LeBron then, in that case, right?
No, in that case, it was just the banter between them. The point I'm making, y'all are missing the point of how news is spreading now. The internet keeps shit alive. The media might come up with something, then a nigga on the internet's gonna cut it, make it a meme, make it a joke.
I'm not arguing with with social media keeping it alive. But when you go back to broadcast network television,
I think
broadcast live,
Shane, I think the part he missed was
it's not the same, bro.
I think the part you missed, I said Michael Jordan.
Niggas posting
I said Michael Jordan would succumb to the pressures of social media.
And I'm saying to you, but every time I pin you down on that side, you go back to broadcast.
I said social media.
But then you just brought up
what I
Skip
said in the
Bayless.
beginning.
You just brought up Skip and the number of eyeballs that watch Skip's show. Nigga, that's not on social media.
Nigga, I can't. Let me tell you something. This is the point I'm making. You niggas, you're making my whole point. I can't tell you the last time I watched Skip Bayless show actually on the show. Okay. I watch it on social media.
Do you watch it on YouTube?
No, I watch it on the internet, on social media.
Okay, so that means what you're telling me is you're not watching it. You're getting clips of a show.
I'm watching the clips.
You're getting
Undisputed has an Instagram page. Undisputed has an Instagram page that doesn't take shit down. What?
They don't put the whole show up on the Instagram clip.
You said what though?
He said they don't put the whole show.
Nigga, they got 30-minute segments of the show. And this is the point I'm making.
And they're gonna put the clip up.
This is the point I'm making, Shane.
The internet is gonna do the
internet. He's actually Shane.
How many clips?
Everything he's
how
saying.
Many clips from them are you think you're gonna get?
Hey, look. Everything he's saying.
Shannon and clip are you think you're gonna get?
I don't. This is the point I'm making, right?
Over and over.
I'm gonna wait for him to talk so I can make my point because he's making my point. When LeBron James,
let me talk
listen,
so I can make your point. Let me talk so I can make your point. If I'm really making your point, then let me talk.
No, because I'm about to say something before my shit dies. If LeBron James misses a clip, Shane, if LeBron James misses a game winner, right?
Yeah.
What do you think going to keep more attention on that? A whole show around the horn, or them cutting up just the 30 seconds of him missing the shot, and you can keep replaying it and keep replaying it and keep replaying it? What are you niggas talking about?
Actually gonna hold people's attention is the debate.
No, it's not.
Please.
Haters like the fact that the nigga missed the shot. That's the truth.
And then people watch. This is not my opinion.
Whether they watch the clip or not, it's spreading, bro. Do information. Let me ask you this, Shane.
Information spreads. That's fine.
In 2023, does information spread more or less than 1995?
We know
more.
We're not questioning if the word would have got out about Michael Jordan's dad being dead or about it being a gambling debt. We're not even arguing that. We're arguing with you purely about the fact that we don't believe that it would have been a top story ongoing for a long period of time.
Right.
I don't believe you get 5 episodes out of our first take on this topic. I don't.
Okay.
No, you get if it's a regular story, you get 2, maybe. You get the initial story when it happened, and then if they catch the dude, of the best player in the world in the NBA. Not if there's nothing else attached to it to make it.
Let me ask you this. So I'm gonna ask you a real theoretical question.
Yeah.
If Gloria James died tomorrow, you think it'll only be on Around the Horn for 2 episodes?
Depending on the circumstances of her death,
So that's the point I'm making. So if Gloria James was killed, found murdered in the woods, nobody knew who the suspects was. You think that'll last for 2 episodes?
Well, no, because there's always going to be new information that comes out about that. Because it's not
That's
like
the point I'm making. And guess what you didn't have? You didn't have TMZ digging for new information and paying for people for new information. That's
right.
the
If
point
she
I'm
dies
making.
in her sleep,
But all I said
then,
to you was they would
then
not.
where do you go from there?
What I'm saying to you is in today's society, they wouldn't run the risk.
TMZ. That's how. That's what they do.
We're talking about your broadcast sports networks that still want to be able to, your NBA, your Players Association. We're talking about your people that still want to be able to give LeBron James to sit down and do shit for
I'm
them.
gonna be completely honest. I think journalism in general, because of TMZ and everything, has just come out flat out been salacious. I literally saw during the NBA draft the boy that got drafted by Charlotte Hornets, who handed when he was at Alabama, he handed the boy the gun, so on and so forth. Dog, normally during the draft, they're not bringing up none of that weird shit because he wasn't indicted on nothing. He didn't even get charged with anything. Reporting has just become so salacious that
clickbait,
yeah, they just want clickbait.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
I don't disagree with that at all. 100%.
The point I'm making, we'll never know. Michael Jordan did well in the 90s. He won 6 rings. Great player. Tenacious. Nothing I can take away from him. Basketball talent, Kobe Bryant was more talented. That's all I'm saying. Like, he could do everything Jordan could do.
Let me ask you all a question. And you can pick any sport when you answer this question, but who is the best all-around athlete you've ever seen in any sport? But just
that I've ever seen?
Ever. Just
that's an easy question. That's easy to me.
Who you got?
Deion Sanders.
I was gonna say primetime Deion Sanders. There's nothing to talk about. Nothing to talk about. Shout out to Prime.
Okay.
Shane, this is the point I'm making.
That was a stupid easy one. Okay.
For a man to be a part-time Major League Baseball player, I just want people to wrap their head around that.
I mean, I want to give some respect to Reggie for doing that. I mean,
Bo Jackson did it.
Yeah. I want to give some love over there for that.
Bo Jackson did it, and Bo Jackson was actually an all-star in both sports. His career was just cut short. But prime time, when you even go back to high school, he was all-state in baseball, football, track, and basketball.
Track, man, like man.
This is the point people don't realize because it's little well known. Allen Iverson was Mr. Virginia in football.
Oh, yeah. He was a quarterback.
Allen Iverson was going to go to college on a football scholarship if it wasn't for the brawl.
Yep.
But he ain't do it at the pro level. Deion and Bo Jackson did it as professionals. Mm-hmm. The best of the world, you know. And then I heard some legends. I heard Tim Duncan could have been an Olympic swimmer. I heard Jim Brown was the best lacrosse player, they said, ever grace a lacrosse field, which kind of makes sense because it's kind of like football, running with a stick. And it's like, I've heard some legends of people being great in other sports. Like I heard definitely Tim Duncan could have been an Olympic swimmer. Shit, Antonio Gates, he was a college All-American before he played pro tight end. Obviously, Michael Jordan played semi-pro.
I thought y'all was gonna say LeBron. Like just
LeBron played high school football.
Not even necessarily sporting a bit like what sports you're good at. I mean, like just pure athleticism, like just the ability to jump high or run fast, or you know what I'm saying? Just pure physical athleticism. Like who is the greatest you ever seen? Is still Deion?
Deion or Randy Moss?
Randy Moss might be one of the most athletic, but I still gotta go Prime.
Yeah,
I gotta go
Prime. See, this is the thing about prime time. I don't think, and this is for people who don't really play football. I don't think people understand how hard it is to play cornerback. It is one of you have to be the most athletic people on the team are cornerbacks. I want you to think about this. You gotta be able to change direction with somebody running at you full speed while you're backpedaling. Just think about that. You're backpedaling, and Randy Moss has a full head of steam, and you got to be able to twist your hips, turn, run. You don't know if he's stopping and cutting. Yeah, I got to go with Deion, man. In his prime, and not to mention, the dude was a 4.2, 4.17, 4.28.
Oh yeah, that's
like he was a freak. He was just a freak. And the reason I really like Deion is because he wasn't Goliath. Like a lot of people will be like, LeBron is Goliath. People will be like Shaq is Goliath. Because if you really want to talk about athleticism, how many 7'1", and think about this, when Shaq was overweight, he probably was 400 pounds.
Yeah.
How many 7'1", 400-pound people could move like Shaquille O'Neal and had the hand-eye coordination and jumping ability? Just think about that.
Yeah. No, he was a freak of nature, for sure.
But, really big people, they kind of look down on them because they like, oh, you're like Goliath. You're just bigger than everybody. So Deion was 6 feet. He was a normal-sized dude, but he was just an amazing athlete, like super explosive, quick reaction. He was great, man. He was great. And I marvel at athletes. It's a lot of super great athletes and come in all different sizes. Russell Westbrook is one of the most explosive human beings. Him, Ja Morant. And then you got skill. Yeah. You look at athleticism, then you got skill.
Yeah,
that's what I've been telling. I was just having this argument about point guards, and I break my point guards down. I'd be like, Steph Curry's the best shooting point guard if you really consider him a point guard. I don't. I think he's a shooting guard.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he plays like a shooting guard for the most part. So, yeah. Kyrie
Irving is the most skilled point guard I've ever seen. Easy.
Kyrie looked for his shot just as much.
No. No. You're right. He shoots a lot. I'm talking about.
I'm not even talking about. I'm saying like he gets.
Well, no. I mean, if you can, you're right. I would consider him more.
Luka gets that point guard label as well.
No, see, and that's where I'm going.
Modern day point guard to score first.
You're going with my point. Like Steph Curry, Ja Morant, Kyrie Irving, I would kind of put more in the combo guard situation, but people consider him points. The best pure point guard ever is Magic Johnson to me. Like that. If you told me to pick one point guard to start my team, anybody who ever played point guard, I'm picking Magic. You know why? You put Magic on the floor with any other 4 niggas, he's making your team better. Magic won on every level. He won a state championship in high school. He won a NCAA. Think about this. I want you to think about this 4-year run Magic had. He won a state championship his senior year. He won an NCAA championship. Then he won an NBA championship as a rookie. Mm-hmm. You can't not win it. You put Magic on the court.
You did what you just said was some shit that almost got me to slip up again. I almost said some hot shit twice that probably would have got me like written up and flagged for on so many
about Magic Johnson.
Yeah, because the level that year, that level of run that he had leads to the amount of pussy that he had, which led to the problem that he ran into. And I almost said that in a way that would have been insensitive, and I had to catch it.
Yeah, I mean, look, man, this the thing I realized about the universe. They're gonna give everybody advice. Everybody got advice. His happened to have been women. It caught up with him. But that man's still living a long billionaire life. So it's like, And they say he AIDS free. You don't show up on his blood test.
That's a
Shout
whole
out to
nother
Good for
Magic.
Magic.
That's another level of money. That's just a whole nother
Back,
conversation.
Shout out
best
to Magic.
pure point guard ever.
I
My
know.
top
Hey,
5 point
y'all
guards.
see how this nigga just turned this into a sports basketball conversation? Y'all see
Well,
how
I
this
mean, I
nigga
can
just
talk because
y'all see how the
I don't
nigga
even
just y'all
I
see
don't
how the
even be
nigga just decided. Y'all see how
fall.
I was gonna say, like, first off, the nigga phone ain't died yet. Like, we started
No,
talking
it's
about
about to die.
LeBron James, the nigga phone got more energy. The phone just started boop 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 boop
Right, all of a
charging up
sudden,
the
No,
shit.
it's
Like, yeah,
literally
like
about to die.
no, his shit on auto charge when LeBron started getting talked about. His shit charged up.
Man, look, I'm just giving LeBron his flowers because this is it. This is it for LBJ. If they tell Bronny James he can't play ever again, I really believe it's LeBron last year. He done. He done.
I believe that, and I believe he should get flowers every stop along the way if he so makes that public to the world that he's done, and he should be applauded for his consistency and his contribution to the game. On all
Absolutely.
levels.
It's about to be an end of an era. In the
And
next
that's
3-4
what.
years, LeBron, KD, Steph, all these dudes probably gonna be out of there, out the league.
And I gotta say, you know what? I want to ask y'all something as we close this episode up, which is going completely off the rails with Twine hijacking it for basketball purposes. But the last question I have for y'all is that looking at sports and using that as a parallel for us as grown men and us all getting older, have y'all noticed or felt that through like sports, or even in your case, Shane? I know your sport would be more wrestling. Has that hit you where it's like, wait a minute, that was 10 years ago. Ooh, shit, that means I'm
Yes.
like
That should
No,
happen.
think about it. Like Kobe retiring was one of them moments for me. Like Kobe retiring was like, ooh, shit, I was there for the whole 20. Ooh, shit. That means
I mean that's how I go.
Yeah.
I mean that's
not
just
in a bad way. Not in a
no,
bad way.
not in
I'm
a
talking
bad
about
way.
when
It just
I'm talking about when you weren't paying attention, you weren't looking for it, and another thing triggered you identifying where you were
no, it
in
happens
your
all the
life.
time, man. Like with me, honestly, I don't even watch wrestling no more. But a wrestling moment just made me realize, like, oh, okay, yeah, that's happening. Like I was flipping through wrestling, and somehow I ended up on wrestling, and the Rock daughter was wrestling. I was like, ooh,
Yep.
what the fuck?
In NXT. Yep.
Shit. Like, oh wow.
Yep. She just started this year.
I'm like, oh shit, his daughter a professional? Like
Like when I
oh
found
wow.
out that Coyle Ray was Benzino's daughter, it was like,
Or I used a wrestling parallel again. Edge just celebrated his 25-year anniversary in WWE. I remember his first match.
He's still wrestling?
That's what I'm saying. It's like Edge still giving niggas a razor's edge.
He just had his last match in Toronto like a week ago. It was the same, but yeah, this was 25.
Yeah, is it really his last match? Is he pulling a Ric Flair?
Probably. You know what I'm saying? But for right now, that was it.
Oh, by the way.
But yeah, 25 years. Like he started.
By the way, it's my favorite wrestler of all time. Like when Ric Flair passed away, I'm literally probably gonna cry, and that's just being honest, because he was by far my favorite wrestler. Like by far. Like
oh yeah,
like
his
just
daughter,
the whole charisma, the promo video. He had the best promo videos in the world to me, man. Like
yeah.
That's like that time he almost died. I was kind of fucked up. Like, damn, when they was talking about he was on his deathbed or something, but he bounced back. But it's like that era, man. That era meant a lot for me, man. Like I remember just to end on wrestling, how we ended. Like I had some great memories from wrestling, man. I remember seeing I'll never forget. You want to talk about adrenaline?
If you don't remember getting in trouble for wrestling, then you wasn't really in it. Like,
This,
like if you ain't
this
never break nothing, and I ain't talking about a bone necessarily, that might be a little bit on the extreme side. But if you ain't never rock bottomed the nigga, if you ain't never caught a nigga with a stone cold stunner,
nigga,
I don't know if I can trust
I
you.
got in trouble every which way for wrestling. Playing too rough, ordering pay-per-views when I shouldn't have. Like, I did it all for wrestling. But I'm just telling y'all an in-person wrestling feeling where I don't, it had to be one of the most, you know how like you be a part of something and you like, oh my fucking God, this is it. Was I in Detroit? Where was I? I can't even name the city. It had to be the Silver Dome. But it was about 75, 80,000 people in the building, bro. And it was so packed. And I never forget this, though. I promise I'd never forget this. I've never felt nothing like this. The lights went dim, and then it was like, dun-dun-dun, and the Ultimate Warrior shot out the back of that dressing room, how he used to run. I've never been a part of no energy like that. Not a rap concert, not nothing, bro. Like, I literally remember this shit to this day. And I was a kid. I might have been 8, 9 years old, bro.
And
Like,
shout out to back then, it was still vague enough where niggas the veil of real, not it was still like we pulled
They were
back.
still protecting kayfabe back then.
Yeah,
That's when
we peeled back a lot of that with as Twan was saying, the age of Aquarius, with these niggas being all nosy and shit and want to know everything. So it's like we
and I ain't
killed a
gonna
lot
lie.
of magic and a lot of shit.
I ain't gonna lie, man. That's an issue in today's society. Like, everybody want to pull the curtain back on the eyes, man. Just let the eyes be the eyes sometimes. Like,
Enjoy
you
it.
know,
Enjoy the show.
yeah, enjoy the show. Like, you know, wrestling ain't real, but
you have
it's
to
real
play
enough.
along with it in order to enjoy it. You have to play along with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't boo bad guys because we don't like them. We boo them because they're bad guys and we're supposed to boo them. We actually like them because they're good at what they do. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, oh, you're right. You a bad guy. You're going to talk shit about our city. Okay, I'm supposed to boo you. Like, you kind of got to play along with it to enjoy the experiment.
It's nothing. I tell people wrestling is nothing but the men's version of the soaps.
Yeah.
It's literally, that's all it is, man. It's a bunch. But I meant what I said the episode. Wrestling have amazing, and I don't know about modern wrestling because I stopped watching. But the heyday wrestling has amazing story writers. Other industries should hire them because they know character development and they know storyline. They prove it every fucking time. Like, they literally prove it. They write.
I mean, like technically, they roll out more superstars than Hollywood may roll out new artists or new actors or actresses.
I mean,
they know how to like. They know how to. They know how.
You know what else, though?
How to break
Hey, Flaw, on some shit that we was touching on. You know what else, though? And I am glad that wrestling finally pulled the veil back on that. Look at how much effort they put into developing them wrestlers. Like, people don't even know how much energy and effort going to creating the brand, your brand identity, the finishing moves, all that shit. Everything. It ain't just like we found a nigga off the street and because he could do some suplex and they like get in the ring. It's like, no, we got to learn the game. You got to know, are you a heel or are you not? You know, or are you a baby face? What are you doing? What is your role going to be? That's something everybody can take from wrestling, man. They're great at developing their greatest stories. Human beings love good stories. And I'm really talking to you, the music industry. Get back, call up Vince McMahon. He in a little hot water. He might want to lean his talents that way. Call that guy. He been doing it for 40-something years. Vince McMahon is so fucking cold. This nigga went from being behind the scenes to flat out wrestling. Like, I will never forget that shit, man. He was actually having wrestling matches. The owner of the WWE.
And he had to do that shit because he did something without getting too deep into it because we wrapping up. But he did something that, for real, like outside of the bounds of a story, that upset a lot of people in real life. So he kind of had no choice because he was already on screen, dude, as one of the announcers. He had to kind of come out and basically admit, like, yeah, I own the company. Because at the time, he didn't present himself as that. You know what I'm saying? He just presented himself as an announcer and an interviewer. And then it came out like, oh shit, you actually run the company? Oh shit, you did, like, you know what I mean? So he had to kind of roll with it, and it just played.
I ain't gonna lie, one thing I missed, last thing I missed.
It was perfect. Like,
I missed, if you wasn't alive for the WWF WCW wars, you missed the time. If you wasn't alive for Eric Bischoff versus Vince McMahon, you missed the time to be alive for wrestling, man. That shit was crazy. Like, I don't even know if they was in cahoots. I could never figure this out. Like, was this a real thing, or was they in cahoots?
No, man. Like I might even now, like, bro. I want everybody to talk. Like, I'm gonna close on this. I'm gonna wrap up on this stuff, and I want everybody to understand how good this was. These dudes, imagine this. There's these dudes who walk out onto a stage. I mean, they walk to a stage, right? Or in the ring, whatever. And dude says, such and such, such and such, for the thousands in attendance, for the millions watching at home. And everybody around the world is just waiting. I mean, when they drop Suck It on the world, bro, I think Suck It might be deserved to be in like a book for like Guinness World Records of like cultural moments. Suck It crossed over, it transcended, it did another kind of thing. Like, talking
about trouble at school, nigga.
Bro, Suck It crossed over at work. It was niggas at work talking about. It was just I don't get, like, bro. Suck It was. It was another thing.
R.I.P. R.I.P. to the
man.
Oh my god, that is
R.I.P.
Man. So anyway, man, this has been.
You're not lying though. You're not lying.
See what happens when y'all let me host. You see. Anyway, so it's been crazy. We went a little longer today than usual, but if y'all liked it,
just cut it up. Make it 2 episodes. There you go.
I don't even know if it needs to. I mean, y'all watch 2 hours plus Drink Champs. Y'all watch 2 hours plus Joe and the folks over there at the Joe Budden Network and whatnot. So I don't feel bad about us coming in 90 minutes. I think we had a great conversation. If y'all think we did, y'all jump in the comments below. Let us know. If not, please jump down there and let us know that you didn't like it as well. Please.
And don't forget, everybody comment what Michael Jordan does better than Kobe Bryant. I want to be convinced. Convince me.
I do remember giving you like 4 things that there's only one player that's done this one thing.
No, I said, see, there you go.
There's only no. I'm just saying, there's only one.
I said skill, not accomplishments. Skill.
I'm just saying, like, nobody's done that ever. I'm just saying. It's only been done 4 times, and it's been done by one person. I'm just saying.
Hey, anyway, all I know,
y'all. Hey, somebody in the comments, let us know if you know what that thing is. What are the 4 things?
He's talking about accomplishment, and Michael Jordan isn't even the most accomplished. But I will end on this.
Neither. We're not ending anywhere. We're done. We got to get y'all out of here.
Shame.
We'll see y'all next week.
How is it a guy